Hello and welcome to the Pod Awakens. My name is Jordan. With me is Ron. How are you today, Ron?
I'm doing great, brother. We've got a fun little show lined up today. We're bringing a new concept over to the Pod Awakens, so I'm stoked to get into it here with you.
And we have Jessica visiting for her
Fourth. She's
fourth
getting
time.
closer to that
Ooh.
Five Timers Club like SNL. We're going to have to
Do I
send
get a
her. Yeah.
jacket?
Yes.
Yes.
We got to send you the jacket. Hell yeah.
How are you today, Jessica?
I am good. Sorry, I was trying to have my dog in here with me and he decided he was out. So that's what I was doing real quick. But I am doing so good. I'm excited to be on here again.
Awesome. And Ron, why don't you welcome or introduce our guest for her first time?
I would love to. Her name is Tiara. She has a Shopify account. Is that what it's called? Do I have that right? A store,
Shopify shop,
storefront,
store,
whatever the hell.
website,
Yeah. But she makes super cool Star Wars memorabilia, T-shirts, stickers, all that great stuff. So definitely go check out her store. And we are stoked to have her here with us tonight. Tiara, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank you for coming on.
All right.
And like Ron mentioned offline, we do like to welcome our guests on their first time with a little bit of a questionnaire, just a couple questions, so that way our listeners get to know you. So I will go ahead and start with, how about your favorite Star Wars film?
This one's always hard for me because Revenge of the Sith is like up there, super nostalgic because my dad took me out of school to go watch it in the movie theaters. So episode 3 is always there. But recently, Attack of the Clones has been like a real comfort movie this past month. So I'm really into that right now.
I think that's the first time I've gotten that one on
Yeah,
the
I
show,
figured
so
so.
that is good. How about your favorite Star Wars character?
Qui-Gon. Always. Qui-Gon or Count Dooku, depending on what side we're on.
That's awesome. Qui-Gon is a great character, one of my favorite Jedi. And how about favorite show? And you can, if you have two answers for this, you can break it between animation and live action, whatever works best for your answers.
Yeah, I am a huge advocate for Tales of the Jedi, just like that series that we've been kind of getting. I loved Tales of the Jedi when it came out. Um, Live action, goodness. Season 1 of Mandalorian like just hit differently from everything that's come out recently. Just like the first of the first, so probably have to go with that one.
Awesome.
Good choices. Those are probably the most distinct answers we've gotten so far. I'll be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I'll think of more questions to throw at you another time, so that way you can give us more of these off the wall answers. I'm enjoying them.
I don't know if they're off the wall, but they're
not
the, yeah.
Attack of the Clones is, but yeah.
It's my childhood right there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, same. That was the first one I saw in theaters, actually, Attack of the Clones.
Oh, nice.
So that one has a soft spot in my heart, even though it is my least favorite of the movies.
Couldn't have just left it there, the soft spot in your heart. You had to throw that last little dig in there.
Trash. Your answer is trash.
I will say, I like every Star Wars movie. I'm not somebody that really will give anybody a tough time for any of their likes. It's all Star Wars to me, so that's how I all view it. All equal parts of the canon and the lore. All right, so I guess I should explain what we're doing today. So Ron and I have been doing these drafts on our DC and Marvel podcasts, Elseworlds and To the Infinity Saga and Beyond, where we draft, we did superhero movie drafts, superhero drafts, supervillain drafts, all that kind of good stuff. We're bringing it here to Star Wars. We're doing a lightsaber draft. And the best way we figured out to do this is to draft the hilts of the sabers, meaning if a character switched lightsaber colors and the hilt is the same, then you're getting both colors, I guess. It's just whatever. You're drafting the hilts. for an example, a character that has changing hilts, Obi-Wan Kenobi from episode 1 to episode 2 and 3, he has different hilts. Luke, different hilts, stuff like that. So that's how we'll be designating that. I guess I should have asked, are we allowing comic and like novel characters?
Yeah, I think as long as it's in Legends or the current timeline, I think it fits. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So that might be one of my answers. Okay. And Ron, you have the draft order for us.
I do. Yeah, you might want to switch our boxes here because you and I are on the tail end here. Tiara is going to be kicking us off. Jessica is number 2. You are 3, and I am here, way back in last place. But luckily, what the way that these drafts work, it's snake style, so it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, so on and so forth through the 5 rounds. So I won't be totally out here on my own island.
Yes, and if the lightsaber is picked, nobody else can pick the lightsaber. You can pick a lightsaber hilt from the same character if somebody took that. So in an example again, if somebody took Phantom Menace Obi-Wan's lightsaber, his Revenge of the Sith lightsaber is available.
And dual wields count as one pick as well. Yeah. In the case of like Ahsoka or anybody else who wields 2, we're not going to make people pick, which of the 2 they want. They get the whole set.
All right. So I guess any questions from the panel before we kick it over to Tiara to set us off on the path here? All right.
I think I'm good.
All good.
All right, then with the first pick of the draft, drum roll, please.
Where are we going?
Gosh, I made a list already of which ones I want to pick, so I'm like, which one do I pick first? I'm gonna go with Ahsoka season 7 Clone Wars hilts. I don't know, like that's specific enough.
The blue sabers.
Yeah, yeah.
So the Anakin gift. Yeah,
the Anakin gift. Yes.
So good. I was praying that was gonna get back to me. Like I thought the white ones would be the first ones off the board, and then I'd be able to sneak in and take the blue ones. Like, especially in the 7th season, like the way they were animated, like the blue just popped so much. Yep. Oh, it looked so good. That fight with Maul at the end.
Actually, in the Ahsoka novel, they were green. But...
Okay, all right, Jordan.
Hey, Dave said it's from a certain point of view, so
yeah.
Also, it's his character. Like he supersedes everything, in my opinion.
He was being sarcastic, by the way. So
I know.
Anybody out there? No. Just so anybody out there listening doesn't think he was
about to fight you.
Yeah. All right, good stuff.
Yeah, good pick. All right, Jessica, your first pick.
All right, my first pick is my boy Anakin, episode 3.
Start it.
The Skywalker lightsaber.
Yes.
Anakin to Luke, and then Rey.
The hero saber.
Like when I think of lightsaber, that's automatically the first one that pops into my head. Like it's the McDonald's of lightsabers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, in a good way. Yeah.
That's funny. My pick is always the one I think of, not the Luke saber or the Anakin saber. But no, that's a good one to pick. So just to reiterate for people that are listening, that means we cannot pick Rey episode 7 or Luke episode 4 and 5 saber. Those are off the board because it's all the same saber. It's the hero saber, the Skywalker saber, whatever you want to call it. I know before it was revealed Rey was a Skywalker or took the Skywalker name, they started calling it the hero saber. But now that she is a Skywalker, we could just call it the Skywalker saber since it's
that's how they sell it. Now. They call it the Skywalker legacy.
Oh, do they now?
Yeah, it's like redone though. Like hers is different because it like broke.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, should we allow that one? But no.
So it does look different. Yeah, it does look different.
All right. So I'm glad that this one is available. This is my favorite lightsaber of all time. This is the one I think of anytime I think of the word lightsaber. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi's Episode 1 Phantom Menace lightsaber.
Knew it was coming.
He's my favorite character, and anytime I close my eyes and think of Obi-Wan, I think of Episode 1 Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. For some reason, the ponytail, the braid, all of that is what sticks in my mind. And that saber is like, you know how they used to sell those, like the $7 sabers, and then you like push the button and then like whip
The
it out, right?
ones.
Yes. And that was like, I had that one, and that was the one I would always use. And for some reason, it just, I think it's like the perfect hilt. It has like the little weird, like half circular ball at the bottom with like the gray squares on it for some reason. I don't know. And then like the emitter part is really just like aesthetically pleasing to me. So, when we edit this, usually that is the lightsaber that's underneath of my name on our nameplates that we make, because it's my favorite one. And for some reason, that's the one that calls to me all the time. Like I use it for.
We'll have to get your choice for that tiara afterwards. We'll have to get your. We do cool little like custom nameplates with lightsabers underneath them. So we'll have to get your choice for that after this. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there, George. My bad.
No, what I was gonna say.
Yeah, Qui-Gon. Yeah,
Qui-Gon. So what I was gonna say was when I bought the Jedi Survivor game, and I did the pre-order, so I got the Obi-Wan, like skin where you can wear like the cloak and all that stuff. It comes with his lightsaber. Once I changed it to that, I never changed it off of that. So that's just what it is in Jedi Survivor for me.
Good stuff.
I haven't finished that yet, so that's still
really.
So don't spoil it. Yeah,
it's so good. I won't spoil any story points.
Hey, I haven't played any of them, so
I finished Fallen Order, just not Survivor. I started it. I'm on where he finds the like Old Republic droid or High Republic droid or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. When they go down into the old temple. Yeah. Oh yeah. Please finish it.
Oh my gosh, I
want to stream it. So we'll see.
You should. It is so good. It is so good. Like.
It took everything Fallen Order did and made it even better, in my opinion. So I really enjoyed the step up.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I've joked that I should have like a streaming thing whenever I play the Star Wars games, like eventually. And it's like, I don't know, some funny name like Girl Sucks at Games or something, because it's like instead of the people that play that, it's like everyone's like, oh, I'm so good. I'm like, no, I'm so bad. Watch me die 5 million times.
Watch me run in circles and not know where to go.
Yeah.
That's
some people might find it entertaining. I don't know.
I would definitely watch it.
That's more entertaining than watching people be good at the game, honestly.
Yeah. There's a million streamers out there who know how to play the game. Like it's way better watching
somebody I definitely do not. So.
Yeah. That's amazing. All right. So
all right, Ron, your first of two back-to-back.
And I got back-to-backers here. Okay, the obvious layup is Darth Maul, Phantom Menace, and Clone Wars. I mean, Darth Maul's my favorite Star Wars character of all time. That was obviously coming, but it's still very much a saber worthy of a first round pick. I mean, very much kind of broke the mold of what we knew about lightsabers at the time, right? Everything we had seen, at least on screen, was just your standard, your sword with the one, and then this dude comes around with the horns and the fucking double-sided saber, and is just like mind blow. So definitely give me Maul first. And I'm kind of going back and forth on 3 different ones here, and I'm trying to gauge which ones are going to get back to me. All right. Give me the white Ahsoka sabers from Rebels and from... I'm sorry, Jessica. I'm sorry. Her green ones are still on the board, for the record.
The only ones I actually even have.
I'm sorry. They're just so good. And like I love the sound they make when from the emitter when they pop up and everything, and just the smooth swing on them. It just sounds very good. Like sound font is a big thing for me with lightsabers. So like I love that sort of smooth, like when they're too like like, and they're all in your face and shit. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I kind of like a nice sort of smooth fire up process there. And Ahsoka just
Yeah,
rocks
it
him
is.
so well. So just, I got to go with him there.
All right.
Back to you, Jordan.
I have some really off the wall ones. So I think I'm gonna go. I think my second pick will be there later. So I'm gonna go with my third pick instead. I'm gonna go with Gunji's lightsaber hilt from the Clone
No!
Wars.
Wow! What?
Was that on your all list?
Yes.
Oh hell yeah! All right, I got that in at the right time.
I don't know what I'm
Look
more
at my
surprised about.
camera because of how angry I am.
I don't
I
know if
thought
I'm
I
more
was gonna have to fight Tiara on it, but I didn't think I was gonna fight you, Jordan.
Holy crap. I did
I
not
love
expect
that one. It's like one of my favorites.
Yeah, exactly. It's wooden.
Gunji,
It's
his
so
little
cool.
Yeah, it's got the
his
wood
little teeth.
shell. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm
Oh
not
man, I'm
hating
glad
at
I
all.
took it now.
I'm just surprised. Holy crap. I did not expect that reaction.
We're all like, no.
Yeah, you know, that'll be one of the things that we have to market the episode with. It's like clip right after I said Gunji, and everybody's reaction be like, what lightsaber caused this reaction?
Yeah.
Nobody would guess. Nobody would guess it was Gunji.
The Gunji
It's got
girlies
the
are
wood.
furious.
It's so cool.
Rod's face was the best though. He was like, "What just happened?"
I'm so confused right now.
Yeah.
I was not expecting it. Not expecting it.
Yeah, it's just really cool. I just did my rewatch of Clone Wars on the podcast. It's actually still airing, my rewatch and my friend Logan's first watch, but we recorded all those episodes. Last one drops on the 13th of September. And just kind of, you know, getting to see Gunji and that whole arc where they're making the lightsabers is really cool. And the fact that they were able to find a way to use have a Wookiee have a lightsaber that means something to his culture, which we don't really see in like the Acolyte with Kalnaka or in even with Buryaga in the High Republic stuff. You don't really get to see that way. So I thought that was really cool how they made it work with Gunji.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That whole young Jedi arc in Clone
awesome.
Wars. So outside of like the sort of obvious like favorite episode answers that people have, like the finale and all that stuff, like that is definitely the first arc that I recommend to people. It's just so fun and like
Standalone,
like innocent. You know what I mean? It's just fucking Star Wars at its purest. Star Wars at its purest is what I meant to say there before I stumbled over my words. And it's just great. So yeah, that's a good pick.
I just love the I don't know what to say here. Like the imbalance there where it's like you're talking about purity and you're also saying fucking. You're like, the fucking lightsaber, it's so pure.
It's so fucking good, dude. It's fucking awesome. Yeah.
Oh man. Flashbacks to our episode.
I was
Chaos.
I was just gonna say, speaking of, yeah, tune into me and Jessica's episode coming soon. It went off the rails pretty quick.
All right, Jessica, it's your turn for your second pick.
Yes. I'm picking Ezra's blaster saber.
Oh,
Great
good
pick.
one.
Ooh,
Great pick.
classic. Love that.
I love that
Lightsaber
one. That's so
innovation
cool.
at its finest. Like,
Yes.
Well, that's
it's
kind
so
of to your point,
cool.
Ron, about Darth Maul's. Without Darth Maul's dual blade, I don't think we get the blaster saber, the cross guard Kylo Ren saber. Like it opened it up so much that then they just kind of went crazy with it. I remember I worked at Disney during Rebels run, and they were selling the Ezra blaster saber like as the toy. Like the cheap toy of it, right? And it was like, yeah, and kids were buying that and carrying it around Hollywood studios all the time. And it was before I got the chance to watch Rebels. It had just premiered, really, when I was working there. So then I went home after program and binged Rebels season 1. So
nice. It's definitely like logistically the best lightsaber too. Like having that built into a lightsaber. Like as far as any of the picks we make. Like, I think this one is probably the most effective in battle, so to speak.
Most practical. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you don't even have to use the saber part until somebody gets super close. You can just, unless you're a stormtrooper and you're going to miss every time, like
Yeah.
Very practical. Yeah.
I could just see Ezra. I don't know why this popped into my mind, but doing like an infomercial, being like, and it shoots blaster, like trying to like distract from somebody, and he's like, "Here's my lightsaber," and like all the like selling points of it or whatever.
The Star Wars shopping.
Where'd you get
network.
this from? Jabba the Hutt? No.
Yeah. Star Wars QVC would be a fun channel to watch.
Hell yeah. All right, Tiara, back to you. You got 2 here.
Okay. First is gonna be Count Dooku saber because I love it.
Good
A little
pick.
curve.
And yes.
Gets tough here.
So
There's so many good ones
difficult.
on the board.
I'm gonna go with Leia's sabers. The like orangey
Ooh.
silver. Yeah.
Yes.
Good one.
Let's just take
I
that.
had that one on mine.
From Rise of Skywalker, right? The flashback.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flashback. Yeah.
And can I complain about that for a second? This saber. I love this saber. And Tiara, you're going to be with me on this because we're both petite. Leia is petite because Carrie Fisher is like 5'2", 5'1", 5'2". That saber is too big. Like the design, like they had such an opportunity to make like a smaller saber built more for like a person that is a smaller frame and has smaller hands, and I just feel like they missed the mark. It makes me so sad every time I see it in person. I'm like, it's too big. Leia would have never held, like, it's just it's too big, the hilt. Anyway, my little rant.
No, I support that.
Well, it'd be a good.
Give me the small sabers.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I
if
think
any
a good
saber
one
that
for
should be able to
like,
use so easy, it should be Leia's.
Yeah.
for the small, if you're talking about like smaller hands and stuff, I feel like Plo Koon's lightsaber would be good for Leia because it is like he's got like the 3 fingers and he has to hold it, and it does kind of like narrow at the bottom and everything. I think that would probably be good, but
Yeah,
I
don't know. I just feel like they could have made such a good smaller saber with hers, and
I'm fully convinced that they stick with like the beefier hilt models because it's easier to sell those ones like in parks and stuff because you need a hilt that's going to be able to hold 3 AA batteries and like do all this stuff. Like we saw it, I think, with Chimere's blade even in the Acolyte. The thing is like freaking yay high.
All the sabers and Acolyte.
All the hilts are too huge. Yeah, all the hilts are too huge in the Acolyte.
I did not like them.
No.
Yeah.
Well, another saber company, make a smaller Leia saber for us girls that are Leia size.
Yeah.
All right, Jessica, back to you.
Okay. I'm scared it's gonna get picked, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick it. Speaking of the Acolyte, I know it's big, but I love the Strangers lightsaber.
The design is great, but the like thickness of it is just not my cup of tea.
And you get the thing where you can like take it out, right? So
yeah, I love that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
So cool.
So does he have? I wonder. I guess he would have to have 2 crystals then, like a. I don't know.
Yeah, it would.
I feel like he'd have to.
Once you pulled it apart, the other side would not have any way to ignite. Yeah. Wow.
That'd be really cool. Like, what if you
or it's a fractured, like complete.
Yeah, it fractured. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if they like told that story? Oh,
because like Kylo's is like fractured but not like split, so maybe Chimere's is like.
That's probably what they were going for, if I had to imagine.
Maybe.
Because they were throwing tons of hints, like hinting towards a connection between Kylo and Chimere, all the Knights of Ren stuff. So if they wanted to do that, the fractured kyber crystal kind of thing, that would make sense.
Yeah. I don't know. I love how it could go, like he could take it apart and put it back together like so quickly. I just found that like really cool for a lightsaber. So that's my next pick.
Very good pick. All right, Jord, you're in a tough spot here.
Yeah, I'm saving that other pick for later again. So now I'm trying to think about which one I want to get before you get there.
Before I vulture in here.
I haven't taken any Darksiders, so I will take Kylo Ren's.
Ah, you fucker. God damn it.
This was when I first saw that trailer for Force Awakens, and you see the sizzle and crackle with the crossguard. Oh boy, that was like, you know how many times I watched that trailer? Oh my god, because that trailer is one of the best Star Wars trailers ever. It's the Thanksgiving Day or Black Friday, right? Trailer that went with like,
Opens.
have you felt it? Right, and you have
It
Finn
opens up with
pop
Rey on the sand.
Yes.
And the shit. Oh my god, dude.
and then you have like the triumphant Star Wars tune with the Millennium Falcon flying, and you have Kylo Ren's just the back of him with the crossguard. Beautiful. That was like peak Star Wars right there. So yeah, I think I will take Kylo Ren's as the third pick.
God damn it. I love it. It was going to be one of my next two.
Yeah, that's why I figured I had to push my other one down.
It has that very kind of like medieval Claymore vibe to it too. Like it feels like heavy. You know what I mean? Like when he swings it and stuff. It's got some substance to it. You know what I mean? Such a good saber. Such a good pick. All right. Back to me here. I've got two. Do I stick to my board or do I get cute?
Get cute.
I don't want to get too cute.
Hashtag the podawakens. Get cute.
All right, let's get a little cute here. I will go with my first one. I am going to go with the Cal Kestis lightsaber from Survivor and Jedi
Which
Fallen
one?
Order. So this is where
The
it
one
runs
behind
into,
me, right?
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah. So
This guy.
the lights, yes. So the lightsaber in itself in the game is totally customizable, but like the base version and the one that's in like in the videos and all that has the sort of frayed wires at the bottom, and it's got that really nice kind of grip material in the middle, and the super long emitter where you kind of has the guard around the neck sort of thing. I love that with the blue, and I needed a blue saber too, and it just, God, I love the design of that thing. It's so like perfectly imperfect is the best way that I would say it. Like in all its flaws, it just looks tremendous. I love that lightsaber. So that'll be my first one. And I think I just got to do it. I got to take the Inquisitor lightsaber here. It is so damn cool.
And you can fly with it too. So that
you could literally fly with it, and it just like
I don't like the flying aspect. It bothers me so much. I love how it looks, but I hate that they fly. Like the episode season 2, I think, when they're in the Jedi or Sith temple, and I see them flying, I'm like, no. Why are you
I can't
doing
believe
that?
we have the same Star Wars hot take. I am not a fan of the helicopter lightsabers.
It's just so cringy. Like, get a ship. Like, why are you flying with your lightsaber? You know what I mean? Like,
why use ship when you can use your saber?
I don't. Like
you don't even have to buy a new car.
That is something Vader would be like. Absolutely not. We do not fly with lightsabers. I don't know who outvoted him in that.
Yeah.
They should be stacked immediately.
It is practical, damn it. We all wish.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
I love the thought though that like these Inquisitors are like, look, Vader's not here, so we get to fly today. Like
they fly now.
Yeah, exactly. Ezra looks up. He's like, they fly now.
Yeah.
It does have very like mall cop vibes to it too. You know what I mean? Like 4 of them float down with their spinny lightsaber. Like it just, I hear you. It can be a little corny in certain situations.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Just like trashing on your pigs like garbage.
It's okay. I think the poll will be kind to me. I think most people like the Inquisitor lightsaber, so I stand.
I mean,
by
they're
it.
cool. I just don't like the flying part.
Yeah. I love the design. Just
personally.
For sure.
Fair.
I don't think people are silly if they like it, or not Star Wars fans if they like it. You can like it. It's totally fair. I just don't like it.
Fuck, I should not have picked it. Ugh, I knew that. Damn it. All right, never mind. Whatever. All right, Jordan, back to you.
All right. Yeah, you know what, Ron? I think that one would have been there for your 5th pick.
Shut up. Whatever.
I'm pushing my other pick down again. I'm risking it. I'm risking it to see if it'll be there for 5th pick. I'm gonna go with my 4th pick being the Darksaber.
Good pick.
I just love the way that the blade looks. It's
Yeah.
black. You got like the hilt looks really cool, and it's been wielded by a lot of really cool people. So, yeah, Darksaber.
Nice.
It's a great
Just
pick.
not durable.
No, it's not.
Yeah, no.
No, it's been shattered. Actually, it's pretty weak. What a bad pick, Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the only one who had a bad
I went
pick.
for the cool
Yeah.
factor, Ron. That's what I was going for.
You went cutesy, Ron, and he went cool.
Was that your cute pick, the Inquisitor?
No, Cal was.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Because I
was
wasn't
like,
sure.
okay.
I wasn't sure. Like, I think he probably would have got back to me too, but I didn't even want to risk it just because I love the design so much.
I will tell you, my brother-in-law came to one day of Fan Expo Chicago, and I don't know which one, so I don't want to say the wrong one, but he did buy one of the Cal sabers from Legion Sabers, and they're so cool.
Oh.
So cool.
Well, he
So
only has one, so.
Yeah. I think there's like different versions that they have though at Legion Sabers, maybe.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
They might
have-
have some of the customizable parts from
Yeah.
the-
Yeah.
And
So I
there's-
don't know which version he got, but he got one of them. He got it shipped to him, but the ones that they just had there were like they were so cool.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, because they sell a version. I think they call it like tarnished and untarnished or something like that. Basically, one of them that's just like well put together, and then they sell like the more game accurate one where like the bottom's all broken and like frayed and stuff like that. So they do sell a few.
All right. Jessica, back to you for your 4th
My
pick.
turn. Okay. I feel like I have to pick this because I love Ahsoka so much and everyone's picked her other one. So I'm going to pick her OG.
Mm-hmm.
I know they say they're green, but I think they're green and yellow, but you know, whatever.
It does
They're
The
look
gonna-
shorter
yellow.
one is yellow. The shorter one's
Yeah.
yellow.
Yeah, they're
right?
trying to retcon it, I think, is green instead of yellow, I feel like, in some things, but
Real
I'll
ones,
pick
no.
those.
Real ones. That's a good pick. I was stoked to see those in Ahsoka episode 5 too, when they were doing all the flashbacks with her and Annie and stuff. It was good to see.
Yes.
Like the lightsabers almost served as like the indicator of the point in time. You know, she had the green, and they moved to the blue, and then obviously she had the white and stuff. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So good.
She's like a real life, or not real, well, because she's not real, but I mean, like she's like a Cal
Don't
Kestis.
tell me she's not real. No,
like a real life version of Cal Kestis, where she's like, you know what? Like when you're playing the game and you just keep customizing your saber color. And
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna rock pink today. Like that's what she's like. This year I'm gonna have green. This year I'm gonna have blue.
We're on Zepho. Let's have
Yes.
like whitish blue. Today.
Right.
Yeah.
Feeling
The cyan one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The cyan. Yeah.
Which looks like the New Hope, you know.
It does.
color of
It
it,
does.
yeah.
All right,
All
Tiara,
right,
you got 2 more here. Your last 2.
These are your last 2.
My last 2. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pressure's
And I
on.
picked them both right now.
Yeah.
Like this instant. Okay.
This instant.
This very instant, without a second to spare.
Can I do Luke episode 6 and Qui-Gon? Yeah, those are gonna be
Yeah,
my last
Double
2.
green. Double green.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Nice.
Yeah, the Luke episode 6 saber looks very much like Obi-Wan's episode 3 saber and episode 4 saber. And I'm sure everybody knows the fun fact that it was only green because they needed it to stick out from the blue sky. So another like legendary saber that you're picking here, because that changed sabers again. You know, Ron's changed, the Darth Maul one changed everything going forward, but this one really changed what colors were available, not just blue and red anymore. So that's really really cool.
I'm shocked both of those lasted this long, to be honest with you.
Well, you're dealing with some
That's what
hardcore
happens when I
fans that are
take
going to
fucking
pick
spinny flyer sabers, I guess. Certain other lightsabers fall.
I also feel like when you're dealing with like hardcore fans like us, right? It's like we have like these odd favorites too that are gonna that we're gonna want to take before we take some of the more
Like Gunji.
Yeah, Gunji. The best reaction ever.
I love Gunji. He's so
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, his little toofs.
I know.
I'm pretty sure you can make his Jordan, you could definitely correct me because I've never been to Disney, but can't you make his saber at what's the thing called when you can make the lightsabers?
Savi's Workshop.
Savi's Workshop. I'm pretty sure like the
I don't
current
think you can do Gunji.
There is one with wood.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not
looks
like the
similar.
exact, because like they're all like, because the one I have is all like very like bits and pieces look like other sabers, but they're not like 100% that other saber.
They're like if you ordered like a certain character's lightsaber off Temu, like that's what you would get for a design. Yeah,
except cooler because that's actually going to be my 5th pick is my lightsaber from Galaxy's Edge.
My Galaxy's Edge.
Can you do that?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I would actually let him just because it would be a waste of a pick, but that would be absolutely hilarious if he took his Galaxy's Edge.
Allow it.
Jordan's Galaxy's Edge saber. People voting on the poll are like, I don't even know what that is. Like, what is
got
that?
parts from like 4 different templates. Just every single section is from a different lightsaber.
Oh
man.
Yeah,
Right,
for the audio,
Jessica.
please keep my random kitty in there.
Yeah. Here you go, Ron.
What is she talking about?
Your last pick, Jessica.
Okay, my last pick is Bastila.
Ooh.
Deep cut.
That's a very nice saber. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, she's right behind me on my screen as well. Boom.
Oh,
Right there.
Is she? Oh yeah, she is down
Yeah.
there. I can even see her. Nice.
Right below Revan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that game is one of my favorite games of all time. So it's just great to have some representation of it in the list here. We'll do a what's the word I'm thinking of, Ron? The
Read his mind, Ron.
The picks that we don't take that were honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions.
Oh yeah.
We'll do some honorable mentions after this. But my pick here, this is the one I've been thinking of picking since number 2. And I was like, you know what? Nobody's picking this saber. Kept pushing it back. You guys might have to Google it. It's Stellan Gios's lightsaber from the High Republic. It is really rad looking. But he's my favorite character from the High Republic, and his saber is really cool. That's why I asked if I can take a comic or book character's saber. So, but I was like, there's no way this one's going before pick 5. Like, I could not see it going that early because there's so many other good ones, like the Inquisitor saber, that went before me.
George, you're either going to finish in first place or last place with your board. With Gunji and Stellan Gios, you're either going to tap into like the hardcore Star Wars fandom, or it's just going to go over people's head. One of the two. And I'm curious to see what happens there.
Oh, me too.
All right, last one here. Jordan, you said you wanted some KOTOR representation. Jessica's will not be the only one because I am taking the purple Revan with my last pick with the Mr. Irrelevant. I love the hilt design. Admittedly, I don't know if it's very practical because of how much it like kind of sticks out on the edges and stuff. It's kind of a tough grip, but it looks super cool. It's got the off of the emitter, it's got like the pieces that kind of shoot up around the blade, and I love that, the kind of 4 corners of it all. And just had to get a purple lightsaber here. It was him or Mace Windu, but I decided to go with the Revan just because I like the hilt a little more.
Awesome. Yeah, I wasn't ever gonna pick Revan.
Whatever,
not
I lost
like
the draft anyway. I just picked with my heart there.
I had Revan on mine.
All right, good. So at least I'm not totally off.
I think it's kind of similar to Cal for me in the sense of because it's a game and like he's the player character, I like don't.
You love Jessica taking a KOTOR lightsaber, but all of a sudden
Bastila is not a playable character, Ron.
Who cares? It's still from the game.
No, what my point I was trying to say is that like it feels like me. It feels like me picking my Galaxy's Edge lightsaber in that card because like I can tweak the color, I can do this and that. So like,
yeah, but I think Revan has like everyone when they think of Revan, they like he has like a lightsaber and like the especially like the accepted like male iteration of because in the game you can play as female or male, so it's very different versus like I feel like what Legends Revan is, and he has the double ones too, like the red and the purple, which is really cool. So.
Fuck, I should have done that. I should have taken the double. But you know what? I'm going to stick by it. I'm not going to try to slot it in there. I'm just taking the purple.
All right. Anybody have some honorable mentions? I do want to mention Darth Sidious's lightsaber. He's got like the really cool, like curvy hilts, you know, like they're just really rounded, futuristic looking. So I have Sidious there. And on with that mace, Windu has a very similar hilt, I think, to Sidious.
I love his. It's so cool with the gold.
Yes.
Vernestra's
really
whip.
Cool.
That was one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another one. Yeah.
Like just. So
and I
sweet.
also love Kanan's.
Yes.
And Balin's. I love both of
Yes,
those.
both of those were on my list. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. I love Kanan.
And Ventress.
There's like the circular aspect around the emitter before it goes up to the blade. Like I like that.
And the fact that he like always takes it off, right? And he always like connect it in because he's in hiding and stuff. Like that was a really cool
I love
aspect.
that too. Which it makes me think of like, was there Jedi archives of like the stranger's lightsaber being able to come apart? And so like Kanan, I don't know, because that's very different too, that he could take his apart and put his back together.
Does Hu Yang have Kymir's lightsaber in his data bank, right?
Cool.
That would be so sick if they somehow reference that. I know, considering what's happened with the Acolyte in recent weeks, I'm not holding my breath, unfortunately. But that
Hu
would
Yang's
be sick.
just like, there was a guy named the Stranger who had
no, not that blatant. Kind of like a thing we saw, like when he pops up all the different designs. Like if we had seen his in there, like for some, again, just something to throw in there for us Acolyte fans to where it doesn't, I don't know.
I'm still waiting for it to be like legit that all of this is coming from Hu Yang, like all of Star Wars. Because when he started like in a galaxy far, far away, we're like, he said the thing.
The last project ends with him just sitting there in a rocking chair with a big book, and he's like telling the story.
Yeah.
And you see, you see another broom boy, right? Being told the story from Hu Yang.
Some other honorable mentions I had here: Asajj Ventress, some great sabers there. The Rey gold saber, I love that one.
Yes.
I own that one. I won't pull it out here, but I love the design of it and the gauze wrapping around the hand part. It feels very like kind of junky, but in a good way. Yeah,
I like the ignition on it too.
Yeah. How you flip the switch and it like you could see it kind of below, like kind of the light below, and it
How do we feel about Yoda's? Honorable
was not on my
mention or
list, admittedly, but I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I like it. It's cute.
Yeah,
those are
it's cute. Yeah, it's a little guy saver. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I mean, Obi-Wan's skinny neck lightsaber, that's, we have to mention it. That and Vader.
Oh yeah, Vader didn't go. People are going to be in the comments, I'll tell you that much.
I know. I was like, do I pick Vader?
Is it a hot take to say that Vader's like lightsaber is kind of mid? Like
it's pretty much the hero saber with a little different touches.
Yeah, like it's got more black to it, and like especially around the emitter, like where the blade meets the hilt, like there's a little more black to it, but there's nothing overly special about it, I don't think.
Yeah, I feel like he definitely kept. I don't know. It's interesting. There's a lot of ways you can go. You can go with that. Is why his lightsaber is so similar. But
Yeah, I always saw it as like he hasn't truly left Anakin behind.
Yeah,
yeah,
very much so.
But really, it was probably because they made that one and the hero one for episode 4, and they're like, yeah, we'll just have them look kind of similar.
Yeah.
It's probably like the prop
these are the
reason.
parts that we have
Yes.
to make them. So
There you go.
But those are the best things where you can kind of take like the limitations and then kind of build like story reasons in your head.
well,
canon,
and that's like
you know?
the how the like crystal bleeding lore even has had to happen because of like Anakin's saber never turned red. And even though that'd be really cool, one, it wouldn't look as good with like all the lava behind him. And
Yeah.
two, Luke has to have it blue.
Yep.
You know? So it's one of those things where I don't know.
That's the real reason.
Not to get on
yeah.
like a rant, but that's why when I'm like everyone's like, "Oh, the lore." I'm like, "But sometimes it's not a hard and fast thing, and
Yeah.
it is because of, you know, the practicality of filming something, and then they will come up with like an in galaxy reason for things." So,
I mean, we're watching a movie with swords that are powered solely by light. Like, suspend your disbelief a little bit. You know what I mean? Sort of
yeah.
thing. Like, just people get
Be a little
way
flexible.
yes,
Yeah.
people get way too in the weeds about that stuff because it
Yeah.
allows them to feel like they have a point when it's like yeah, like maybe at its core you do, but like, dude, who fucking cares? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just we all watch this stuff and enjoy it to have fun. So like, just have fun.
But
Yeah.
a lot of
Don't
times
think you're-
too, people kind of ignore the easiest explanations of it. It's just like he didn't have time to bleed his
Yeah.
saber. Like he immediately goes to the temple and then he immediately goes and shuts down the Trade Federation. Like
Yeah.
why take the time to do that when you know?
And he might not even know about that yet either,
Right.
too. You know?
Did Sidious tell him the tale of the bleeding sabers? We don't know.
That was a long conversation there in that theater. They talked about all that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Only the tale for Plagueis. That's all we got. Did I tell
Yeah.
you about the time Plagueis was watching Chimere and May
Yeah.
or Chimere and Osha?
Have I ever told you the tale of the acolyte?
Oh.
Sadly, it's only one season.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Rest in
I'm still
peace.
convinced that it's not really the end of that arc. Whether they continue it in a different format or whatever,
It'll
I
be
just-
books or comics
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
I don't think it's even if it's the end of like the Acolyte on Disney Plus. I don't think it's the end of that story by any means, and I hope it's not. I really do.
Yeah, I feel like they'll repackage, retitle.
Mm-hmm.
I'll read a
there's-
book that's supposed to be
there's
season
the
2,
bones
like-
there. Like they set up at the end of season 1, like if you wanted to turn it into a Darth Plagueis show, which it may upset some people, you know, because they did a lot of groundwork with these some awesome characters we got in the Acolyte, like to sort of spin it away from all that and then just focus on like, you know, Plagueis and Yoda. But like I do think there's room there to do it and incorporate aspects of the Acolyte without making it just a direct continuation of the Acolyte and you know, sparking up all of the negative stuff that we've seen, you know.
I'll tell you though, I saw some banger tweets about this where like the picture of Yoda from behind where they're like, sadly we'll never find out who this is. You know, like I saw that. Or like I've taken to calling him Adult Grogu since we don't know his name. Like stuff like that. It was really good.
Yeah.
But no, I was thinking I'm kind of at the point where I think that they're moving away from TV altogether for Star Wars. The fact that Mando right now is going to the big screen and like we get Ahsoka season 2, but like I feel like Skeleton Crew they already says like a limited series.
Yeah.
And
we know Ahsoka season 2 is leading into a movie as well.
Right. And Andor season 2 is the final season. Like we're at the point where I don't think they'll announce that many TV shows going forward. Maybe they'll have one, but I think that they're kind of moving away from
I mean,
that.
this is a thing, and I've talked about this before. I don't know if it's like if it was on my podcast or somewhere else, but like there's pros and cons to a massive company owning such a like a big creative IP. And so you want a company that has the resources to do the effects and everything that like goes into Star Wars. It's a lot, like it's expensive. And so you need a company that has the time to pay people to
Yeah.
I mean, just learning how to do fights. I mean, like some of the movies, they were training, 9 months or so before they even filmed. And so that's expensive, And
Yep.
so you have to have a company that has the money to dump into something like Star Wars. At the same time, it's a publicly traded company. They have, they have things that they have to do. And
Shareholders,
so
they have to answer.
yeah, and
Mhm.
so you have to
Mhm.
have some kind of a profit. And right now, Disney Plus, I think, is just now turning a profit.
Mhm.
Like,
Actually, Disney Plus still hasn't. What they announced was their whole streaming portfolio has. So that's including
okay,
ESPN
yeah,
Plus and Hulu Plus.
So it's like
yeah.
there'll be like
So
ESPN's in there too.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And so it's one of those things where, they had somebody running the ship, and now Bob Iger is back. And I think he did have an announcement towards the beginning of the year that he's cutting back on a lot of things, and people were assuming some of that was TV Disney Plus shows. And so the sad thing is that I guess I'll just like keep going with my soapbox here.
Bring
People
it
aren't gonna
home,
like this.
girl. Bring it
People aren't
home.
gonna like this. Well,
No,
I think it's really sad.
I
And
didn't mean
definitely
bring
I
it home
missed.
in a wrap it up way. I meant like,
No, I get
come
what
on,
you're
keep
saying.
going. Yeah, I want to hear
Well, I
what you
think
have
it's
to say.
really sad, and I'm bummed that we're not getting more of the story because I think there's so much more potential that we could have with the Acolyte. And I think so many people were able to see themselves in Star Wars
Mhm.
with a diverse casting. I think that is so important, and I don't want to negate that at all. I think that is incredibly important, and really sad missed opportunity on Disney's end to end that, because we need starting points for people in Star Wars. And in order to expand and grow, you have to go with things that are going to be good for the next generation and for other people to become a part of it. We've talked about Star Wars being like a buffet. Like if there's something you don't like, well, there's something else there, but there's still places missing for certain people, like that don't see themselves in Star Wars. And some people care about that, and some people don't care about that. And I think it is important. And so I think the Acolyte, in my opinion, was just 100% bad PR.
Yep.
Like all around. It was pushed in interviews. Interviews should have been tighter. Interviews should have been vetted a little bit better. I think there are things that happened that got a little out of control and were released and were completely seen from a certain point of view that was not the intent and was not maybe what people were talking about in interviews, but it got twisted. People are, screaming agenda, but then they're putting their own agenda into interviews and different things that were not the intent, were not what that person is saying. They're reading between the lines when there was nothing really to read between the lines. You're looking for something to justify your opinion and your point of view, and that's not any different than what you're yelling at somebody else for doing. And so I think if one, the marketing was a little bit better, the interviews were done a little bit better. And also, I think if they knew going into this that there was an opportunity for there not to be multiple seasons, it shouldn't have been teased that way.
Yep.
If they knew going into this that Bob Iger is cutting down on TV and this is going to be a 1-season show, don't say in interviews, I have this planned as 3 seasons. Like, even if you're hopeful for it, if you know better, like, don't say it, because you're leading up a lot of hope with people. And I'm not trying to be negative. I know that like people that are creative, you're not in the space sometimes of the nuts and bolts and the money and the budget and that sort of thing, because you are creative. That's not your thought process.
It's the producer's job to do the budget and stuff. The writer is writing. Yeah.
Right. And so you're thinking next season because you're in a creative mindset and you don't want to stifle that or stymie that at the same time. And so I get why that could be said very easily, that you want more seasons. But again, that's like a PR thing that like could have been done a little bit better. You know, maybe some of the characters being teased, like Carrie-Anne Moss's character and different things like that, that were immediate letdown for people, feeling like they had all these posters and all this stuff pushed, and then this person is like barely in it. And so, not that it was like set up for failure, because I don't believe that was the case either, because I think there was some bad actors as far as people putting their own narrative into all of that, and twisting it a certain way that I don't think even existed in the show. I think there were definitely some mistakes made with that side of with the marketing, and it created a lot of expectations that were then devastated. And it's understandable for people to be upset. It's understandable for people to be really emotional and sad and you know, all of that. And then you've got the other side where people are like dancing on the grave of the show, and it's like it just did not set up for a very good fan experience. You know, all around for people and for the actors too. It's just a shame, because you should be able to watch something and say, hey, I liked it, or hey, I didn't like it. And it's not this tribalism and all out war between people. It's just it breaks my heart. Even like, I am sad that it wasn't renewed, but like the outcome of this has made me even more sad, I think.
Yeah, when I saw the news, it was kind of like one of those, I was like, damn, I was right. You know, because like we had talked about, like, what are the chances of it getting a second season? And I was like, unfortunately, I don't think it will. And then like I get that, and you're like, yeah, all right, that sucks. But then I also wasn't like heartbroken by it because of some of the issues I had in the last half of the season. And like you said, they could have probably had wrapped this up in a neat bow enough to have left some room open, but also give a satisfactory ending, which I didn't feel I had gotten. And I felt like her messaging switched a bit, you know, from the original buildup where I felt like she was saying it was going to be a one season story.
Her being Leslie Hedlund.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Going to be a one season story. And then like later, as the show's airing, that I started hearing more and more about like, well, we actually planned for more seasons, but just in case there's only one. And I was like, oh, I was going into this thinking we were only getting one. And then that was confusing. And then it leads to the confusion when it gets the cancellation, where people are like, well, it wasn't canceled, it was only supposed to have one. And then people being like, no, it was canceled. And then that was a back and forth people were having on
and it's like
social media.
It wasn't renewed too, which I mean, I might have said canceled too. And like I get frustrated on that too, because I'm like, it just wasn't renewed. Like, you don't see Obi-Wan being screamed that it was canceled, or you don't see like,
and all the merch was
other
taken
shows.
down from Disney because it was like canceled, and I didn't see that happen with any of the other TV shows. It's just like it was
It's
so
odd.
aggressive.
Well, didn't it come back? Didn't the merch come back?
When people were like, what are you doing? People, no, it was.
It's interesting.
And I don't blame Leslie Hedlund for that at all. I blame Disney, honestly, because she wouldn't be giving mixed messaging unless that's what she was receiving on it. You know what I mean? Or am I going to get a second season? Oh, well, it depends on X, Y, and Z. And then she has to do all these interviews, and it's like, how do you answer those questions when you yourself don't even know the answers to them? So I think I
feel like you would just have to answer like, it's up to if you guys watch it, right? Like,
well, that's
like
what
any
she
other TV show.
Did.
Yeah,
that's
I don't know. I just think that the interviews as a whole, to me, I just felt like no one had a meeting with a PR rep. Honestly, is what it felt like. And I felt like some of the people interviewing also weren't vetted very well, and had some questions that people were not expecting, and then answers that I think were meant to be jokes were taken very seriously when it's like, hey, this is an awkward conversation that I didn't expect to be having right now. And that should never, with a company the size of Disney, you have people for that job. And I just feel like that puts your actors, that puts your, you know, creators, your whoever's being interviewed, puts them in a weird position. And like, come on, guys, you know better than to do that, you know? And I say this as someone who I love Disney, like, and I love Star Wars. I love all of Star Wars. I just felt like it was just set up as like maybe a, you know, no press is bad press type situation. And sometimes, you know, maybe we find out, no, there is bad press.
For sure. For sure.
Well, on that dour note, we'll wrap up the podcast. So
we love
hopefully
Star
we brought
Wars,
you
man.
down from the highs of
Sorry,
the draft.
and that's always like, you know. And
no, it's good to talk about though. We haven't recorded one since it wasn't renewed, so it's kind of like a.
And I hate it, and
Getting us
I don't
out
want
there.
people to hear me to say that like I'm happy by any means, or that like you shouldn't be sad or whatever. Like that's not what I'm saying at all. Like I do think that it is that, and people have a lot of emotions, and I think part of those emotions is because you feel almost like you were promised something and then it didn't get delivered. And so I think it's very fair. And then when you add all of the other aspects of the show, it being one of the most diverse casts and all of that, like it's just such a sucky situation, like all around. And like, why couldn't it have been any other type of situation for something like this to happen? It had to be around that. And that just like, it's just bad all around. It's just, it's just sad.
Unfortunately, too, that.
Oh, no, go ahead, Jordan.
I was just going to say that they have to get these budgets under control. Disney as a whole, their animated films cost too much, their movies cost too much, and now their TV shows cost too much. And then it gets to the point now where they're trying to become profitable in the streaming thing, and they're like, well, what are we going to cut? We're going to cut the $180 million Acolyte. I mean, like, why roll it out when, like you said, it has had some bad press? It wasn't viewed as much. It's like, why are we going to sink another 180 into it? If they could have made this thing for cheaper, it'd be that'd be easy renewal.
And they
right?
could have,
like, I'm sure
they could have made it. They could have.
But the thing is, people were complaining about the volume, which made this stuff cheaper. And now everybody's like, we got to get back to sets and physical locations. And that costs a lot.
It's the same thing with the prequels, I think. You know, like there was so much new technology, and that I've equated it to this a lot. Like, you know, and now everyone looks back and is like, George used way too much blue screen and green screen, you know, and I feel like the volume is getting treated the same way because it's a new technology, and anything that's new is going to be overused to an extent. But and this is the other thing that frustrates me about things getting like not renewed and stuff like that, because you know, you have people asking and asking and asking and almost screaming for something outside of the Skywalker saga, for something new, something fresh. You get this and then you trash on it, you know? And it's like, you've got to let creative people and have an opportunity to work on something and to grow. I'm afraid that this will set Star Wars back a lot because of the fact of everybody who has a new and fresh and cool idea, which I think the Acolyte was a new and fresh and cool idea, is now going to be afraid to ever pitch that story. And that, I think, is one of the biggest losses. And I'll say it again, the little girls and boys that were watching this show and said, that character looks like me. Like I've said it before, I have nieces and nephews that pick my like Reva, like little figurine. They don't know anything about Star Wars.
Yeah.
But they pick that one. Like representation is so important. And to see kids not be able to understand that and be like, well, why are these characters not going to be able to come back? Like people need to like understand that. Like I'm speaking to people like me, like white people, like we need
Yeah.
to get that, like just having somebody else up there does not take away from anything else. It doesn't mean that that Disney hates men. It doesn't mean that they hate white men. It just means that they're giving someone another opportunity to have a story be told. And that's a whole nother thing. But like, those are my two saddest things, I think, from the Acolyte. Is one, creators are going to now be terrified for new ideas and to push new ideas. And now I think it's going to suffer for the next generation of kids that could have had great stories with people that they could identify with a little bit more.
Well said.
I hope that's not the
Not
case.
to be a
I
bummer.
genuinely do. Just because, like, the problems with the Acolyte, even though, like, there was obviously a select group of people out there who were bitching and complaining about ridiculous stuff. We won't even give them too much shine here. But, like, the reason the Acolyte didn't do well isn't because of the inclusiveness or any of that stuff. It's because of things that would have been very easily fixable in a season 2. Like Jordan mentioned, trimming down that budget, make the character intentions a little more clear. Like, things that most shows require a second season to be able to fully find anyway. You know, like,
or just more episodes, more screen time. Like, these episodes are 8 episodes, but some of them are only 30 minutes. And while it was airing, I'm kind of like, all right, if that's all you need to tell this episode, fine. But then after seeing all 8, I'm like, we could have probably spent some more time with May. We probably could have spent some more time with Osha and kind of really get to know them the way we do with TV shows with other characters. And that could have fixed a lot of issues for people. And I think, I don't know. It's just one of those tough things that when you get to, there has to be some sort of mandate that they were doing to make them this short all the time. Because like House of the Dragon does not cost $180 million, and it's pulling out hour-long episodes. You know, with better effects and better writing. So it's like, why are we making them so short? You know, why? And then even then, the animated shows are so short, but yet they fit all that character stuff in that compact time. Bad Batch is one of my favorite animated Star Wars shows, and it's because we stick with those same core characters, like Rebels, where we stick with those same core characters, and we get to see them every single week deal with issues, and that gets the character growth going.
Dude,
but in this show,
Tiara mentioned Tales of the Jedi before and Tales of the Sith as well. Like, they managed to tell complete stories in Tales of the Empire, excuse me. They managed to tell complete stories in that sort of compact frame. So it can be done. It's just a matter of like actually doing it.
How it's executed. Yeah.
Yep. Execution.
Sorry, Tiara, I didn't mean to talk the whole time. I don't know.
No.
She's like, I got plans, actually. I got to get out of here.
My cat's just been roaming. It's just been me and my cat. We're just listening to you.
Alrighty, we'll wrap it up. Okay, so let's start with Tiara. If you wanted to plug anything or where people can find you online before we head out.
Yeah. I'm primarily on Instagram, but I have my YouTube channel that I just started. 100 subs so far. Woo woo. And I have my TikTok. But yeah, you can find me Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube as Crafting on Ilum, and my shop link, which I will be closing this Saturday. So make sure to check that out if you want to purchase anything. Closing that this Saturday, but the link is on my bio in my Instagram. So yeah.
Awesome. Jessica, where can people find you and your show?
So, as I'm like, I have a podcast that's very opposite of all of that. That is called Tales of the Force, and it's all about people sharing their Star Wars stories. So, what makes Star Wars important to them? It is, like I said, the opposite of my rant about the Acolyte.
Well, I do think it actually ties in with your rant, actually, because your rant was about like, you know, the diversity and like people seeing Star Wars in themselves. And it's, you know, if you're having that conversation with somebody that this show is what that was for them, then that'll come up. And I think maybe that's why it also stood out to you so much. You're having these discussions.
That's true. That's very true.
very much.
But yeah, so it's like any Star Wars fan, there is no gatekeeping, there's no card. It is, if you like something in Star Wars, you're a Star Wars fan and you can share your story. Some of them are a little bit deeper and go into aspects of like mental health and different things like that. And then some of them are just fun and someone talking about stuff that they love about Star Wars. So
Lots of F-bombs, I'm guessing.
Ron is going to get a little disclaimer, but it's okay. It's all
The
right.
explicit label
I'm
on
going
the
to tell
podcast.
my sweet little mother to not listen to that episode.
We had this guy on, Mom. You're not going to want to listen to that
She's
one.
like, and some others are like, all right, so this is me. Whatever she's about to say.
He's actually really positive. Like, he's a really great guy.
Yeah. You would
But it's
never
too
know
much
it
work
by
to
the way he
bleep it.
talks, but he's a good
He was
guy.
like, can we swear
Yeah.
on this show? I was like, you know what?
We're
People
already
can do whatever
5
they want.
F-bombs in. You can, yes.
You can. I haven't edited anybody yet.
When
as
I
far
first
as
had
that.
Ron on, I tried to bleep this because he comes on, my friend Chris introduces us, and like one of the first episodes we do, he starts dropping them, and then he's like, can I do that? And I'm kind of like, yeah, I'll bleep it later. And then I just got to the point where I'm like, I'm not bleeping that. Sorry, it's getting the explicit tag. I'm not
Just mark
editing
the
this for
damn
5
episode.
hours.
Yeah. We're not
That's
making
what
any
I
money
do.
off
I'm
it
like,
anyway.
if someone says something on one of the episodes, I just put that one episode as explicit, and I just say in the beginning that there's mature language, and you can listen to it or not listen to it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I view it as any of the other episodes because I mean it's literally people all different spirituality or not or all different things. And so I know that all of them are not going to be for everybody. Someone might get triggered, like legitimately triggered by something. And so like I try to put that in the beginning or in the show notes. And so people can say, hey, this deals with loss or this deals with whatever, or spicy words. And so people can go, this one's for me, this one's not. Kind of like Star Wars can be, guys.
Right.
Or a spicy Mad Lib,
Yeah, I probably will bring that back because that was really fun. But I just need to know that you never know what's gonna happen when it's a Mad Lib, and it could be very not safe for work. But that's all
I
right.
sent it to Jordan after we did it. I sent him what the Mad. He was like, "What is even going on?" Just listen. It'll make sense, relatively at least.
Pure
Can I
chaos.
listen to it with my newborn with me? Is that
If you want him brought up
They
right,
won't.
you will. Damn it.
They won't know. It's fine.
yeah.
Oh,
No,
good stuff.
I'm dropping F-bombs around him all the time. He is okay, and then for our show at Podawakens on all of our social media, Ron and I do have an announcement to make, though, right?
I was gonna tell you. Yeah, you better throw that out.
People ask me every time, Jordan, you have too many podcasts. What are you going to do? And I say, I am going to start another one. And I have. And I started it with Ron. We're launching on Saturday. It's called The Fantasy Folk, and it's all about fantasy books, movies, games, TV shows. We're starting with our Amazon's Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power discussion, which will be dropping after Saturday. Saturday is just an introductory episode with me and Ron discussing our favorite stuff, what got us into the genre of fantasy and stuff like that. And then we'll go into Rings of Power coverage, and then eventually, probably post Rings of Power, we'll talk about Game of Thrones and just kind of what we liked about Game of Thrones, which was originally why we were going to launch this podcast. Yeah, so we're really excited for it, and it's actually the first show Ron's getting in on the bottom floor here at Logjam Media. So very excited for that. Yeah, anything to add, Ron, before we head out?
No, I'm super excited to get started on this show. Obviously, we're going to be like doing some D&D live streams on there too. It's just like basically, like you said, books, A Song of Ice and Fire, just anything that encompasses the realm of fantasy. We're going to be doing on this show, so it's going to allow us to be more consistent and have a shitload more to be able to cover, just because we are covering such a broad spectrum of things, if you will. So it's probably going to be the most consistent of our podcasts, I'd imagine. and it's gonna be a ton of fun. I almost swore there again. So just if you're into the genre at all, just please listen, please check it out, because it's something that we're both very passionate about, and it's going to be a ton of fun.
And if you're listening on Spotify right now, you can actually find the feed for it very easily. Go to the Podawakens feed and click more like this, and you will find the Fantasy Folk right there, along with our Marvel podcast, The Infinity Saga and Beyond. I had a friend at work today ask me, so how many active podcasts do you have going on right now, Jordan? I said 8. That is the correct number. 17 total with a couple defunct, but 8 active podcasts.
Hey, 8 is like my favorite number, so.
Perfect. We are right in the slot.
There you go. But it's so close to 10, it's like we're going to have to create a couple more, right? So you can follow us here at Podawakens on all of our social media. Like CO Bibble says, you must contact us at podawakens at gmail.com. Thank you all for watching and listening. We will catch you next time here on the Podawakens.